That's so interesting to hear, because I feel like my videos, like if someone was to show them to someone else, to be like, yo, this is the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life. Like, why are you showing me that?
So could you just tell everybody that's watching who you are, what you do, where you're from, a little bit about you?
Yeah, sure. So I run a YouTube channel called The Talentless Writer. I make animated Storytime. They're called Storytime animations, where basically you just tell a story about yourself or like a rant and you animate over it. That's, I think, like what the general category is called. So I do that. I try to like make it like basically like you're watching stand-up, but there's cartoons behind it. And so I do that. Also some like animated skits. I'm also from New York, and I'm sure some people could tell from my accent, which I didn't even think I had for the fucking longest time. Also, am I allowed to curse? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, perfect. So yeah, that's basically what my channel is. And yeah, I'm just trying to do that, see where it takes me. I also have a podcast called Talentless Podcast and a gaming channel called the Talentless Gamer. Just everything with the Talentless brand. And that's basically it.
Yeah, you do have a really thick New York accent. When you say dog, it's possibly the thickest New York dog I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, it's so weird because I didn't think I had an accent for the longest time until like I had a cousin from North Carolina tell me, and I was like, "What do you mean I don't have an accent?" She's like, "You definitely have an accent." And I was like, "All right, I guess so."
Yeah, I especially noticed it because I'm English. So yeah, my ex-girlfriend, her mum's from New Jersey. So
yeah.
And I've gotten used to that really loud sort of like New Jersey, New Yorker sort of demeanor. So I hear it anywhere now.
Yeah, it gets very obnoxious sometimes, I'm sure.
Yeah, it can be jarring. But, yeah. But so as you were saying, you've got a day job as well as this YouTube channel. When did you start the YouTube channel?
My channel, this one I started like the summer of 2017.
Mm-hmm.
But I've had like 7 channels before this one. I officially started YouTube, like actually trying to make something out of it, March of 2016, I think, where I was just posting like other animations or like commentary style videos, like like Cody Co or like I'm Alex, stuff like that. But eventually I didn't really like any of the stuff I was doing in those channels, so I deleted them all. And I was trying to like figure out how to be myself more, because a lot of people don't realize it's kind of hard to like be yourself on camera or like behind a microphone. I don't know why. Like it sounds like the easiest thing ever, but it's really difficult because you're trying to like be someone that people would like, and you don't think people would like what you have to offer. So I've had this channel for about 3 years. I think March of next year it'll be 5 years of doing YouTube total. And as far as my regular job, I've done that since I was like fucking 8 years old. And because it's a family business, and I'm still there. Hopefully not for long. I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens.
Do you think people you show a better side of yourself now you've changed the kind of content you make?
Oh yeah, definitely. I like the direction I've taken with this a lot more. And it's also helped me open up more to not be so reserved, because before, like, I was trying to be like I guess more family friendly, even though I did curse in my past videos. Like in the other channels, I felt like I was just trying to be, I didn't really know like what other people wanted to see, but I was like, it's definitely not what I have to offer. So like, I want to be a YouTuber, but I don't know what I have to do, so let me like try to be more, I guess, like I don't know what the word is, but like, like accessible to everybody. Like most people say you should have a niche, but I was like, no, I want to be like global. Like anybody could watch my videos, but that's not the best direction to take with the channel, in my opinion.
Yeah, I did. I like the fact you're a little bit less family friendly. Especially like you get angry in your videos and stuff. Yeah. And like when you do animation, I imagine it's relatively easy to just go, well, animation, most kids films are animated, kids videos on YouTube do well. I could probably censor myself and aim towards the younger market and make YouTube love me. But you seem to keep keep your credibility a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, I could always take that option where I could be more family friendly, and people see animation right away, they think that it is like for kids, even though things like South Park and Family Guy exist. People always directly relate animation to like kids stuff. But I don't know, that's not the route I wanted to take. I feel like I'm being disingenuous to myself if I did that. And it helps me sleep better at night knowing that I'm able to make whatever content I want. Like I could say whatever I want in my videos, and my audience will still fuck with me for that. So that's why I chose to go with that direction, even though I make less money than if I decided to bleep everything out or appeal to children more. But it's I don't know. I guess I feel better going my route.
So those old videos that you used to make, was that like you talking to a camera, or was that like gameplay and a little bit like Leafy is Here? What was that kind of like?
No, it was like me talking to a camera. Just like, I guess, I had like 3 of those videos, maybe 4. One of them, I was just like watching Febreze commercials and like say, oh, this is crazy. Like these commercials there's no way they're real. Shit like that, they weren't good videos at all. Yeah. So I would just be like in front of a camera. It would show like the clip of the commercial, and then I would add my 2 cents over it and then play the next clip. Just like back and forth like that. It would be me on camera, but I'm not very good on camera. Like I'm not very comfortable on it. Like I move my hands a lot, and I don't know like how to sit in a right angle for the camera to like make me look better, shit like that. So that's why I prefer animation, because I don't have to worry about like how I look and how I'm moving around.
Well, that's what I was gonna say, because I saw your face reveal on that other podcast the other day. And is that the first time since you deleted the old videos that you've shown your face?
Yeah, that's the first time ever.
How do you feel about that?
I don't mind it. I mean, I think, in my opinion, from my experience, what I've seen with other YouTubers, if you've only like limited how much you've shown yourself like a couple of times, most people won't remember what you look like. And like, I don't care if people come up to me and say like, "What's up?" But I like the privacy of not really like being approached. Not that, I mean, I only have like 200K subs. I don't think I'd be approached that much, but I like it. I like being low key a lot better.
But I imagine one day, I mean, everybody starts with 0 and makes their way up, and then I mean, that's what happened with PewDiePie, and the next thing you know, he's 120 million subscribers. When it gets to the point where you're at 1,500,000, do you think if you get asked to go to VidCon and stuff like that and do panels, do you think you would?
Oh yeah, I mean, I want to go to VidCon whether I get asked or not, to be honest, because it just seems like a fun experience. Actually, I would rather go like without being on a panel, because I feel like if you're on a panel, they make you do a lot of work and stuff, and I can't just like hang out and see other YouTubers I'm fans of. But like if they asked me to be a panel, that would be awesome, I guess, too. I would be interested in doing that, like any convention.
I think what I'm asking is well, no, that's okay. No, you are, but like I'm also asking, are you sort of nervous for people to know who you are? Are you worried that at some point you will get too much notoriety?
No, I'm not worried about that. I think the main thing is that, like, with doing a face reveal is while I'm still working, like I make videos about like talking shit about customers, and then like that's not a good look for me to have when people like know what I look like and they come into the store like, yo, you fucking said all this shit about me. Which, I mean, most of my videos are about old people, so they wouldn't know that, but like that, I think that's the main reason, because I'm still working, and that's why I didn't really want a face reveal that much. But I guess once I go full time, I wouldn't really mind it as much. But it's mainly because of work, I feel like.
You had any of the kids that you talk about from school and stuff like that message you saying, "Hey, I saw your video"?
No, I don't think anybody outside from my like my main group of friends knows that my videos exist or that I'm behind them. The only thing is though, like my cousins had no idea about my channel, and then my Kappa video got recommended to one of them, and they texted me. And they're like, yo, this kind of sounds like you, and it looks like your cartoons that like your drawings that you send me sometimes. I was like, oh yeah, that's kind of weird, haha. And then he didn't believe me for the longest time, but he showed like my other cousins. They're like, yo, that's definitely him. Like that's his fucking videos. And then they found out like that. So I'm not sure if any of my like friends that I haven't seen in a long time will find me out from that. But that's how my cousins found out about me. I was fucking crazy that like I can't even, I don't even show myself, and they fucking found out.
What did they think about it?
They thought it was pretty cool. They liked the videos. I have like a couple videos about them. Huh?
You weren't chatting shit about them in the video, were you?
No. I mean, I might have. I don't remember what I said in the video. I might have said like a couple of things, but no, they were chill with it. They thought it was funny, and you know, they were like, "Oh, how much you make?" I was like, "I make nothing, bro." That was their main question. I think that's everyone's question when they find out someone's a YouTuber. Like, how much do you make? Because you hear all these stories about people buying mansions and shit, but no, not me.
Telling me you don't have a mansion in the Hollywood Hills.
No. Nope, definitely not. I've never even been to California.
What? So this day job you've got, it's your family business, your parents' business?
Yes, yeah.
And what is it you do? You work on a cash register?
Yeah, basically I do the register and I do stuff, but some other stuff around the kitchen. It's a restaurant. That's really it. It's nothing too complex. Just a regular like restaurant job.
So you don't count YouTube as your job, it's still a hobby for you?
Yeah, I would consider it maybe like a side hustle, but I wouldn't consider it my job, even though like I feel like I spend like a lot of time on it. Like until I feel like it's the only thing I do, I wouldn't consider it my job.
But you do you did a video with Brewstew the other day, right?
Like yeah, I've done a couple collabs with him.
Yeah. So surely when you start collaborating with bigger YouTubers, does that make you feel a little bit more like it's your job? Do you feel like a YouTuber, or do you just feel like you make content just because you want to make content?
I mean, I do feel like a YouTuber in some aspects because of that. Like I've got to talk with like people that I'm big fans of, like Brewstew and Danny Casal, who is the podcast I did my face reveal on. So in that sense, yeah, I do feel like a YouTuber because I can also like, if I post something, people will watch it. And I feel like that's what a YouTuber really is, because I have a built-in audience. And before that, you know, I would have to like pray I got 10 views. But now like I know I'm going to get a minimum of however many views, and people are going to like it and fuck with my channel and what I make. And in that sense, I feel like a YouTuber. But I guess because if I just tell someone like, oh, I'm a YouTuber, they're like, yo, that's not like, you're not a YouTuber because you're not, I don't see you like on camera or like doing this full time. Like you're still doing other shit. So that's why I feel like I'm not a YouTuber in other aspects of it.
I think that's why I like YouTubers like you that still have other jobs, because it keeps you grounded. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, there are YouTubers like Rice Gum and the Paul brothers that are and Keemstar that are insufferable and completely out of touch with everyone. But I still love them for it, because it's like watching the Kardashians. Like they're insufferable, but they're the Kardashians. Like that's
it's a perfect way to put it.
So I like the bad guy usually. So, but I think that's part of the reason that people like you and the other people that we're featuring in this series, I think that's part of the reason that you guys are likable, because you're not just going, I'm a YouTuber, like I'm so cool because I'm a YouTuber. You still got a little bit of humbleness behind you.
Yeah, I guess is a way to put it. I guess that's our charm. We're like underdogs, I guess is the best way to put it. We're just trying to break it in through this world of internet fame, I guess is the best way to put it. But we're not quite there yet. I mean, the other people you interviewed, I think are like, I watched them, I don't know who these people are. Like I've never heard them before I watched them, but Max Fosh and I forgot the other guy's name.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like none of us have like 1 million subs or anything yet. And we're just trying our best, I guess, to break through.
Yeah, I just interviewed one today. Well, I've done 2 interviews today. I interviewed a guy called Modest Pelican Gaming.
Okay.
He's got just over 1 million, but he was still. I thought once you hit 1 million, you might get a little bit less in touch with your originality.
Mhm.
But he was very calm. So it must be something to do with the content people create. When
Yeah.
you look back on your original content or when you started, how long ago did you start?
Back in like the spring of 2016.
And what about the animations? Was that 2016?
Yeah, there was also animations there, but they're just different. They weren't even like people say already like don't really animate because I don't really do much animating. But those back then were like no animation at all. It was just like a slideshow basically.
Yeah, I saw animation about Midas. I think that
Mm,
was your first video on the
yeah.
channel. Um, so the animation style is completely different. You've got that signature eyes on the side of the head look. But when you look back at that old content, how do you feel about it? How do you feel? Do you think you've changed much from it?
Well, like that Midas video, I feel like that wasn't like one of the videos that I wasn't proud of because like the previous channels I wasn't proud of those videos, but then like the Midas one and the other fairy tale ones, those ones are like when I started developing my own like talking style, I guess more where because for the longest time the problem was that I would write my scripts and read them out like I was reading an essay in class. I wasn't like saying it as if I was on stage or like doing stand up or something like that. And that's where like my mindset really shifted on on how to talk on camera or behind a microphone because you can't really like talk as if you're reading off a teleprompter. You got to talk as if it's normal even though you're reading off a script. And that
Yeah.
was like one of the first things that where I started talking differently, not differently, but like I started making it seem more casual or not as technical.
Did you ever have do you ever like do drama at school and stuff like that?
Yeah, in middle school, I took some drama classes. My teacher hated me because, like, when we did improv, I would apparently in improv, like the whole thing is supposed to go with everything, and
Yeah.
we did a bit, or I don't know I don't know what they're called. I guess they're called bits where I one of the girls in class was supposed to be my mom, and she was like, "Oh, isn't it great that we're moving to New York?" And I was like, "Oh, but we already live in New York." And my teacher was like, "No, get off the stage. This is not how you do improv. This is wrong." So I did it.
Yeah.
I did that, and I also did an improv class in college like a year or two ago. And they're pretty cool classes. You got to learn a little bit about how to perform on stage, even though like I don't know if I'll ever go on stage again. I'm not like really big into Broadway or anything like that, but it was cool to like learn the different techniques they have for acting.
Yeah, I did drama for a little bit when I was at school, and yeah, improv classes are famously the bane of comedy. People enjoy being in them, but I don't think anyone actually enjoys watching them.
Yeah, I
So
would agree with
I
that.
wouldn't worry too much about not being good at improv. Because now you've picked up something that isn't improv, but you're better.
Thanks.
So over the little time that you've been on YouTube, do you have a proudest moment that you've done? Something that you look back on and you think, yeah, that's pretty dope.
I think the coolest thing I've done, I guess, is like my collab with Brewstew because I was always like a really big fan of his, and I feel like my content's the most similar to his. And the fact that he like even like I've been talking to him for a while, but then he reached out to me to ask to be in his video, and just seeing like my name next to his title, like on his channel, I feel like is a very like really cool moment. And also another thing, which is like kind of random, is my pins that I sell of my character. Every time I look at it, I'm just like, this is really cool that I have this, even though like I have all these shirts and stuff. Just that pin, I don't know why. Whenever I look at it, I'm like, that's sick that I have this.
You've got shirts and stuff already.
Yeah. I started in January. I started selling merch. I don't sell that much of it, but I get to like make whatever design I want, and I get to have my own shirt, and whoever else wants to buy it, and it's cool for them. Make a couple bucks on the side from that.
So do you do that yourself? You just send that off to a printers, or have you got like
Yeah,
some sort
so
of management that sorts everything out for you?
there's a company called CrowdMade that works with a lot of YouTubers. All I do is just give them a design, tell them what I want the design on, and they just take care of everything else. I've made all the designs myself, except for one of them where it's like a cereal box design. My friend Nibink, who's also a YouTuber and webcomic creator, he designed that one for me.
That's dope, man. That's cool stuff.
Thanks.
It's interesting that you say about the Brewstew thing, about you being excited being next to him, because I imagine that not so long ago, I mean, he's only at what? How many subscribers has Brewstew got? Is he just over 1 million?
Yeah, I think he's at 1.5 million.
Probably a year ago, 2 years ago, he was probably in the same situation as you. Somebody like Swoozie, he probably would have featured in one of their videos and it would have been the same.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
It's interesting chatting to people at different levels. Because I think, even though you have a lot less subscribers, I personally think that you're the best animated channel on YouTube.
Really? Thank you. I really appreciate that.
But and me and all my friends, like I've shown my friends your content, and they all think it's funny.
Thanks.
And yeah, I told my ex that I was interviewing you, and she was like, "No way, not that guy with a really thick New York accent." And, and she was like, "Oh my god, I love him so much."
That's so interesting to hear, because I feel like my videos, like if someone was to show them to someone else, to be like, "Yo, this is the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life. Like, why are you showing me that?" That's so interesting to hear, because I feel like my videos, like if someone was to show them to someone else, to be like, "Yo, this is the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life. Like, why are you showing me that?" But the fact that you have friends that you showed it to and they liked it, that makes me really happy.
Well, I think it was I showed her the Clifford the Big Red Dog one, because it's just relatable. I think those kind of videos where you talk about things that everybody already knows about, I guess it's almost in a way like stand-up comedy, that video. And I think that was the thing, that the comedy track's a bit different in America, but have you ever thought about doing stand-up comedy? Because your content, you could just tell it on stage and it would work.
Yeah, I mean, I've thought about it before. It's just, I get very like nervous on stage. Like even in improv class, like my legs would shake a little bit, even though like I felt confident before going up. And also like a big thing with the stand-up is I gotta memorize everything. Like I gotta memorize 10 minutes, as opposed to like when I do my videos, if I forget something, I just look at the script on my phone. So I feel like that's the biggest hurdle I would have to get past. But I feel like I would really enjoy doing it once I got like better at it. But I've never tried it. I hope maybe I could just like do an open mic one day, try it out, see how it feels. And maybe I would end up doing that too.
They say I'm big in, I don't know if you're much into stand-up comedy. I quite like it. Mm-hmm. They say that if you do well and you make people laugh, you coast for it for ages and you don't worry about it. And then you will at some point bomb, which is like when you do badly.
Yeah.
And supposedly bombing is just the worst feeling you will ever have in your life. If you get laughs, it's incredible. But if nobody laughs, it's the worst feeling you'll ever feel in your life. Yeah,
I've heard a lot of like comedians that I think myself are like some of the funniest people ever. They've even bombed themselves. Like I remember reading on Twitter, there was a story about what's his fucking name? Something Oliver, who has a show.
John.
Show. Yeah, he had like a really bad show once at a restaurant. Some restaurant hired him for the night, and he bombed really, really badly. And even though he bombed that badly, like I think he was saying like it was one of the worst nights of his life. You know, you just keep going, and eventually you have your own fucking show, apparently. So
yeah, that's why you don't often take gigs in restaurants, because usually they have no idea there's going to be a comedian, and it's trash.
It's not the right environment.
I guess at least on YouTube, people, you're not forcing yourselves upon people while they're trying to eat their dinner.
Yeah, I mean, some people are probably eating dinner, but at least like they have the right context for it. Like they go onto YouTube expecting to see content instead of it being presented to them out of nowhere.
So I'm not an animator. I tried it once, and it was one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life. I made an animated claymation video once. That was pretty cool. But in general, I'm not an animator. So to me, what you do looks hard, just because it's editing audio, it's writing scripts, it's coming up with stories, and then you have to make your characters' mouths move and stuff. Do you think do you think it's quite timely putting effort into your work? Is it difficult?
Yeah, I mean, it does take a lot longer than like someone who's just on camera, I guess. Like my videos I make now, like I've been able to upload them every week, but when I first started, I was uploading every month, and that's like the fastest I could make them. Because I had to because now I reuse so many assets, I reuse so many like backgrounds and stuff, so I can do it a lot faster. But when I first started and I was making an animation like every month, I was like, there's no possible way I can make this any faster, even though it's extremely simple. So it does take a lot of time, and I see like other animators who upload monthly, and it's just them, and they have way more complex animation. I was like, how the fuck are they able to push out content this fast? Like, even though it's once a month, like the audience is probably thinking, once a month, that's such a long time, like make it faster, but it takes a long time, even for something as simple as mine.
I feel bad for animators because you'll upload once a month and then you'll get demonetized, and that's your one video of the month.
Yeah.
Whereas, so I guess now you sort of do a podcast and you do the gaming videos and stuff. Do you ever think that that you could conceivably go back to reacting to things because it's a little bit easier, or do you like the challenge and you like the fact that you hold on to your integrity?
No, I prefer the latter, where I get to do what I want, even though like it might be a little bit more work. I prefer how the content turns out in the end. Like I've always thought, like even now, where like I'm thinking, what if I made a channel where I just upload something every day that's like really easy to make, like something like, this isn't a diss, but Critical, right? The YouTuber Critical. Yeah, he's able to upload once or twice a day. It doesn't take much editing, but he makes really good content. People really like watching it. I like watching it, but yeah, I'm sure he makes like a shit ton of money because he's getting millions of views every single day. And I've always thought, what if I just did that? But I like my content, and I like how it turns out. But even people who don't do animation that upload, there's people that don't do animation that upload once a month, like Nikki Jakey and John Tron, that are all in front of a camera. So I don't think it's just limited to animation, that problem. I'm sure there's a lot of people who have that issue where they feel like they could do something else. Like the grass is always greener on the other side. And I'm sure a lot of non-animation YouTubers have that same problem.
Well, yeah. So in this series, I've now interviewed 5 YouTubers, and I've asked that question to all of them, and they all make completely different content. The guy earlier was a gaming channel, then I had another one today that made videos about maps in London, and they all put loads of effort into them, but not one person I've ever asked has said I would ever want to swap out the credibility of my content for views and for money, which I think is credible, especially when you see how lucrative YouTube could be. It's nice seeing people still trying really hard with their work.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like everybody feels that way because it's their content, like it's what they choose to do, so that's why they wouldn't want to change it. Even though I've watched videos of people talking about how to become successful on YouTube. Like, you got to post every day, you'll make this much money. Like, do you know who DDG is, the rapper?
No.
I don't know if you're familiar with him. He's a rapper and YouTuber, and he made a video talking about how if you want to be successful on YouTube, you have to post every day. You have to post pranks. Like, if you don't post pranks, you're never gonna make it. And I was like, oh shit, I don't know if I'm gonna make it if I don't do that. But I feel like if you really carve your own route, you can really get far in YouTube. Yeah. You just got to keep going, though. You just got to be persistent.
And, I mean, success is, it's cliche, but success is what you make it, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, I've just started making YouTube channels, not for this magazine I write for my personal self. Mm-hmm. And I just got like 1.3K views on a video in a day. And that's the first time that I've ever done that. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm a success. I'm famous. Yeah. But then you hear of these YouTubers being like, oh, I only got 7 million views on this video. Like, what went wrong? And success is different for everyone.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Like, even though I'm not getting anywhere close to like 7 million, I still feel the same way, where like there was a month where I was getting like 100K views every single video. and then the views dropped. I'm like, oh, I'm doing something wrong. I'm only getting 50K now, even though 50K still is a lot of views to be getting. There's 50,000 eyes that decided to click on your video. Yeah. It's still like, it's the way the YouTube algorithm works. Because even like on youtube.com, but after you upload a video and it shows like how many views you have, it tells you like, oh, your video is not doing as well as it usually does. I'm like, all right, fuck you, YouTube. Like, you didn't have to tell me that. Like, I know it's a business, but you know, as long as people are still watching and enjoying your content, I don't think the views really matter.
I imagine it's easy to get lost down that whole like social blade rabbit hole.
Yeah, no, it definitely is, because I compare myself to so many other channels. I'm like, oh, I had a huge dip at this point, and then this channel never had a dip. They just kept going linearly up, and I'm like, oh, what am I doing wrong? Or like I see there's other channels, like, you know, Corpse Husband, right?
Yeah, I heard about him today.
So for the longest time, I just found out about him recently too, but for the longest time, like I was looking at Social Blade, he was stuck at like around 2 million subscribers for the longest time, for like years. And then just recently with the Among Us stuff that he's been doing, he just blasted off up to 6 million in like a month or two. And like, I think about stuff like that, and it shows like how quickly, even if you're an established creator, you can just keep going higher, or even if you're not an established creator. Yeah.
He plays with Sweet Anita on Twitch, right?
Yeah. He plays with her and a bunch of other like big YouTubers.
I mean, that's how you do it. I mean, but then like, that's cool and all, but he's playing the most popular game with
that's true too.
Loads of other people. Of course, if you're playing a game where you have 8 different people streaming it at once, and it's the most popular game, and you're playing it on the most popular platform, Twitch, of course you're gonna do better.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, it's like, it's difficult. That kind of content's easy to make. Are you happy with where you're at the moment?
Yeah, no, I definitely am. It's crazy just thinking about it, like that I have even amassed 200,000 subscribers, because I remember back in like 2012, because I've always wanted to be a YouTuber my whole life, especially a gaming YouTuber. Like I wanted to be a FIFA YouTuber, a Call of Duty YouTuber. I remember in 2012, I was watching a podcast with the Syndicate Project, and he was just recently blowing up, I think at that time, for playing zombies. And he was talking about how, you know, it's never too late to do YouTube, no matter how crowded it gets. And I was watching that like, no, there's no way. In 2012, like, it's so competitive now. There's too many people out there. And that was back then. And I was like, now it's 2020 and I've kind of broken through. So I feel like looking back at those two mindsets I have, it's like really interesting to see how far I've come, even though 8 years ago I thought it was impossible to become a YouTuber.
I exactly remember those days when Syndicate was blowing up and the Yogscast were big. And, do you remember Minnesota Burns?
Yes, bro.
Whatever happened to Minnesota Burns?
I think I remember watching a video essay about him, but he was huge with his I forgot what his main series was, where he would, I don't know the name of it, but where he would like troll boosters.
Like a trolling series, wasn't it?
Yeah, like Booster Justice or something. But he fell off hard. Like I remember looking at his channel recently, and not many people are watching him, unfortunately. But I think that just Call of Duty in general, Call of Duty YouTubers in general died off, like Woody's Gamer Tag and White Boy 7th Street. Like,
I mean, that's
those types of people.
If you don't get cancelled, your content is sure to expire eventually, right?
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of the YouTubers I watched when I was a kid like Tobuscus. He got cancelled. That's the end of Tobuscus. He hasn't recovered. Like you said, those old Call of Duty YouTubers, they either stuck to Call of Duty and died, or they moved to Fortnite and sold their soul to the devil.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, please never become a Fortnite streamer every day.
No, I definitely won't. Trust me.
Have you ever made any videos on Fortnite?
No, I've never made any Fortnite. But I mean, I enjoyed the game when it first came out. But like after a couple of months, I was like, no, it's not that great of a game.
Please never stoop to the levels of Fortnite. You're better than that.
Thank you.
Do you find yourself getting compared to other animation channels a lot?
Oh yeah,
on YouTubers.
Yeah, especially Brewstew. I get lots of comments saying I'm a bootleg version of him. Some people say I'm a bootleg version of Grade A Under A. But I'm fine with these comments, because those are two people who I'm huge fans of. So if I could just be like a percentage of what they are, I'm fine with that.
You are not a bootleg version of Grade A Under A at all. I mean, Brewstew's good, so I don't think you're a bootlegger, but I think you are both. I think you're a little bit better, but you are not a bootleg version of Grade A Under A in the slightest. You are so much better than he is.
Thank you. I'm a big Grade A Under A fan. That's the reason I actually started YouTube in the first place, because I saw his content and I was like, I think I could pull this off too. So he was like one of my main inspirations. Huh?
Does he even make content anymore? I thought everyone just decided to hate Grade A Under A and stop watching him.
Yeah, but then he like came out with like a couple of videos. Like he like every year or like every 6 months he'll come out with another video, say he's back, and then he'll be gone again for the longest time.
Yeah, I like those YouTuber mysteries. Like when Leaky came back. Yeah, there's a whole world on YouTube that people just don't understand unless you're on the website.
Yeah, there's you're definitely right about that.
Like
especially I feel like stuff like Max Mofo, like the hair cake shit, where like they do lots of weird shit. Like if you show that to a regular person, they're gonna be like, "What the fuck are you watching? Like why would you even want to watch this?" Yeah,
I showed my uncle that, and he was like, "Why are you showing this?" And I was like, "Because there's a lockdown on, and I'm drunk, and I want to watch puke cake."
Yeah, exactly.
And you are here, so I guess you're watching it with me.
Yep.
It's kind of a shame that content. I was saying this to somebody else. It's kind of a shame that Filthy Frank kind of content isn't feasible anymore, because stuff like Pimp My Wheelchair was great. Like Pimp My Wheelchair could have been a TV show, like been on Adult Swim or something.
I agree.
And it's kind of a shame that YouTube seems to be trying their hardest to destroy their content creators.
Yeah, it's weird. Even like big content creators, they still like are pulling strings just to take them down for whatever reason. At least that's what it feels like. It feels like they're just trying to push more mainstream stuff. As you can tell by like the trending tab, anytime you go to the trending tab, it's all like not even YouTubers half the time. It's just like NFL or like Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah.
And a lot of music too. I think that's what the main thing they're trying to push is, because when you're uploading a video to YouTube and you go to the monetization settings, because now you have to like choose, you have to put check boxes of what your video includes, like if you're cursing or if it shows any guns, stuff like that. And one of the check boxes for cursing, if you curse like before 30 seconds, you say like fuck or something like that, then your video gets demonetized. But it says if it's a music video or if it's anything music related, it doesn't apply to that. No. So YouTube is trying really hard to push for being a big music platform, and I guess anything mainstream in general.
Yeah, I mean, of course they are. I mean, look at how many views music videos get. I mean,
yeah,
I can't think of any YouTubers that are pulling those kind of music video views. Yeah, and not even PewDiePie's pulling in those kind of views.
No, it's crazy. And obviously all the biggest videos on YouTube are music videos too. I think like the top 10 most viewed videos are music videos.
Yeah. Do you find yourself getting hit with demonetization quite a lot?
I used to a lot, but now like the past like streak of videos I've had have all been monetized, because as long as I don't say anything too bad before 30 seconds, if I wait 30 seconds and then I can start cursing as much as I want, then they'll monetize me. I'm really happy for that rule. It's great. So now I've been getting monetized recently. It's really cool.
Is that an actual rule?
Yeah, no, it is, because it says it's you can't say, there's like 3 words you can't say, but if you don't say those and you just like say fucking anything else, they'll monetize you. You can't say obviously the N-word, which I wouldn't say anyway, and you can't say the F word that's offensive to homosexuals, and you can't say cunt, which I just actually, you can bleep that out so I don't ruin your video. But,
yeah, we love the word cunt. Cunt works here.
All right, great. Yeah. So, but you can't say those. So I guess English and Australian YouTubers are getting demonetized a lot recently, probably.
Yeah, definitely. Especially Australians. Australians love the word cunt.
Like, it's crazy.
It's so much. I met an Australian once on a night out, and the first thing he said to me is he was like, "You're all right, mate. You guys say the word cunt a lot here." And I was like, "Yeah, we do. We love it."
That's hilarious.
Yeah. That's, I guess it's, did you see that Moist Critical video where he talks to Susan Wabber-Jackie?
I saw that he posted that, but I haven't gotten a chance to actually watch it yet.
He basically brought up all the things that you've just said about how YouTube's prioritizing big already known brands.
Mm-hmm.
And basically Susan said that she's going to put directly from that meeting they had, Susan's going to put things in place to sort out all the problems that YouTube's having at the moment.
Wow.
I guess it's cool.
Yeah, that's really interesting to hear. I should definitely watch that video now.
I find it so strange that it was him that spoke to, and that it was him that spoke to her as well. I mean, he's the guy that like throws around dildos and lights. And
I think it's because he has his own multi-channel network, so he's I guess considered more professional, I guess, even though like aside from his content, like he's dealing with a lot of other YouTubers, and he has a company that deals with YouTube, I guess. So I think that's why
the MCNs was still a thing.
Yeah, no, they definitely they go really hard trying to recruit people. I haven't joined one because I've heard so many horror stories, especially like the machinist stuff that happened.
Yeah.
But he has his own that he says is better for YouTubers because he's seen like what's happened before firsthand. So he wanted to make one that's better.
They've I was speaking to someone earlier that said there's now like insurance for YouTubers so that if you get demonetized, you can still get paid and stuff.
Really? I had no idea that existed.
Yeah, apparently so. Maybe give it a Google. Yeah. So what I was going to ask earlier about your day job, your normal job, do you see yourself ever going full-time YouTube?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to see it in my mind because I've just been so used to working a regular job, but that's really the ultimate goal, to become full-time on here. And like not even to make a lot of money from it, just to make like a normal salary and just be able to do what I want for a living. That's really the ultimate goal.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, I think that's every kid's dream, right? I mean, we're the generation. How old are you?
23. Okay,
you're a little bit older than me, 2 years older than me. But we're the generation that grew up with YouTubers, and not as much. I mean, these kids these days they proper grew up with YouTube, but we grew up sort of idolizing YouTubers, especially when the content was easy to create. So I think that's everyone's dream, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've heard that YouTuber is like one of the biggest jobs that kids want to become, like on surveys and stuff. Like the most chosen job that kids want to be, aside from like astronaut and shit like that, is a YouTuber. And I mean, I guess that's really cool to hear. Because it's becoming more mainstream. Like I know people my age who still don't know what a YouTuber is. Like they don't know that there's more content on YouTube aside from like sports clips and like funny cat fails and stuff like that. So it's cool seeing like how it's becoming more mainstream.
It's definitely easy to go down the rabbit hole of YouTube and like you see people like there's a YouTuber I really like called Jackmate. And I like him, but he's clearly been on the platform so long that he forgets that most people don't, even though TV's dying, he kind of forgets that YouTube isn't actually like that normal, and most people don't, that there's all this drama that happens on YouTube where someone, I'm Alex, will say this or whatever, it doesn't actually matter that much. So I think a lot of the time when I talk to I have to remind myself from time to time that it doesn't actually, it's just numbers on a screen, and these people that are uploading crappy mobile games like H3H3, that's not actually the end of the world. It's not real. You know?
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right in that sense. It's not because even if you ask, I feel like 10 people on the street, 10 random people, I don't think like majority of them will know what's going on in YouTube, like anything like that of the sorts.
Especially when you think, I don't know I imagine you're relatively like me. I don't have a clue what's going on TikTok. And the idea that Keemstar knows everything that's going on TikTok blows my mind, because I'm only 21 and I already feel like a granddad when it comes to TikTok. And when you see like grown-ass men like invested in being like, oh, this 14-year-old girl did this, it's like, bruv, I know it's your job and that's what makes you money, but like, chill out.
There's got to be some line you don't cross when it comes to that point. Like, I know they're like out there, like when you post a video to TikTok, you're expecting other people to see it, but you don't have to fucking like talk about it. Like, you don't have to be Keemstar and like tell everybody what's happening. Like, you just let that 14-year-old be a 14-year-old. Like, there's no reason to, no matter how much money you're making from talking about that news, like you could just let them be. Like, I don't understand why he's going after them.
Yeah, I made a video on my private, my personal channel recently about, did you hear about this whole like pyrocynical drama that's going on?
Yeah, I haven't followed it that much, but I've heard a lot of people talk about it.
Basically, it's just all these commentary channels said he needs to be locked up. It's confirmed he's a pedophile because they saw a tweet about it, and then it turned out that none of it was true. And I just think to myself, like, how do you make a career just ruining people's lives?
Yeah.
And then you're like, no, it's fine. But like, it's just YouTube and it's just Twitter.
Yeah, I know that's what I'm Alex came under fire for those false allegations.
And he just keeps on doing it.
Yeah, I haven't watched him in a while. I honestly, I don't really watch that many English YouTubers in general, to be honest. Yeah. I don't know why. I guess I don't know, except for like KSI, and like I used to watch Spencer FC and like a bunch of other FIFA YouTubers. That was mainly it.
Max Fosh. I mean, it's probably not. I don't know that it's content that you'd like. But Max Fosh makes genuinely some of the best content on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
It's like proper thought through, great content. So if you're gonna find a new English YouTuber, watch him. He's friends with like Will and E and stuff like that, but unlike them, like actually makes good content.
Yeah, I'll check him out.
So what do you think the future for YouTube is? Because TV died. And then Vine looked like it was going to be the new thing. And then Vine died and TikTok came and the videos were a little bit longer. And then YouTube videos you got to be 10 minutes to get all that AdSense. But it seems like we're living in a world where short videos are key. What do you think the future holds?
I definitely think that YouTube is going to become more mainstream. We're still in the early stages of it, even though like I feel like I've watched YouTube my whole life, and I assume you have too. And it just feels like it's been around for such a long time, but it really hasn't been. It's still like in its infancy stages. Like, we're seeing so many people break out into the mainstream world from it, like especially with the KSI and Logan Paul fight, and now Logan Paul's fighting Mayweather, like one of the biggest boxers of our generation.
Logan Paul's fighting Mayweather?
Yeah.
Wow, that is...
Yeah, it's been confirmed.
He's going to die.
Yeah, no, he is. It's you have to bet $3,500 on Mayweather to win $100. That's how little faith they have in Logan Paul winning.
Could you imagine if Logan Paul won though?
Yeah.
What do you think about Logan Paul?
Honestly, I used to hate him back in the day. I actually used to think Jake Paul was the smarter brother, because I found out about Jake Paul from an entrepreneurial podcast before like I even heard about his content. It was like way before It's Everyday Bro. And then I was like, oh, this guy's pretty smart, even though I don't really like his content. But then as time went on, I'm like, oh, these guys are stupid. Like, I don't know what they're doing. But now with Logan Paul's podcast, like I actually listened to some of the episodes, and he seems like a pretty chill dude, in my opinion. And I'm not the biggest hater of him anymore.
His 6ix9ine podcast was actually really good.
I didn't hear that one.
Yeah, they basically, like, do you know who 6ix9ine is?
Yeah, no, I do.
They got him on the podcast, and they were just like, "Why are you a snitch? Like, why are you such a bitch? Why did you snitch?" And he was like, "Bro, I was gonna be in prison until I was 69. Do you want to? What would you have done?" So
yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess he's asking the hard hitting questions, because I feel like most people would be too afraid to ask him that, except for like Charlemagne the God or someone like that.
Oh, Charlemagne the God is such a bitch. I hate
him. I can't stand him.
Oh, he's just wrong on everything he says. Just his opinions on Kanye West annoy me so much. Have you seen the video where he's got Kanye on the podcast? And he's talking about Jesus, and he's like, "How did you drop that and sleep at night?"
Oh yeah, Jesus wasn't that bad of an album. It was pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, it's not my favorite Kanye album.
Yeah, no, I mean, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is the greatest, but
I like Ye.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah, but yeah. Anyway, we've completely tangent. So the future of YouTube, it's going to get more mainstream. I mean, I don't know what it's like in America. On all of our TV shows over here in the UK, we've got YouTubers on them.
Oh no! In America, I've never really seen a YouTuber on TV aside from like the boxing matches. But yeah, I know I remember my brother was telling me like in the UK, the sidemen are like basically celebrities. Or I don't know how true that is.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know anyone not in. My friends are nerds, so I guess if you know YouTube, but I don't know anyone that doesn't watch YouTuber that knows Sidemen. I think everyone knows of KSI.
Yeah.
Because KSI is on the charts in England. So he's sort of becoming a little bit more known. But no, I don't know about that.
I guess he was wrong. I'll tell him he was wrong.
Yeah, maybe. Unless he knows something about England that I don't. I don't know everything about England. But
I don't know everything about America either, so don't worry.
Yeah, that's true. Is the Cheesecake Factory as good as it looks?
I've only had it a couple of times. The cheesecake is good, it's just very filling. That's the main thing.
Yeah. These are the hard-hitting questions that we've got to know. But yeah, in the UK, we so there's been a few reality shows that have been on this year. There's a show called Strictly Come Dancing, which is Dancing with the Stars. And we had a YouTuber on that this year. We had a show called I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, which is it's like Survivor. And we had a podcast host win that. So YouTube, I think we're wising up to it a little bit. But
yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, because I've never really seen, at least because I don't really watch TV that much either. I haven't watched cable TV in a long time. But from what I've seen, aside from like the occasional Adult Swim cameos, I don't think there's really any YouTubers on mainstream TV.
Yeah. I think that's because American TV dipped their hands in YouTube, dipped their toes into YouTube content really quickly. They gave Smosh a TV show, right? They gave
Fred a movie.
They gave Fred more than one movie. They gave Fred like 4 movies.
Yeah.
Like they did it. They gave The Annoying Orange a TV show. And I don't think any of it did well. So I think they just sort of strayed away from it.
Actually, now that I think about it, Disney had actually a gaming channel for a while. I don't know if it still exists, but I know they recruited a lot of YouTubers like Jacksepticeye and Markiplier, and then some other like smaller YouTubers to just basically re-upload their content onto Disney.
That's really strange because we've got and this. Have you ever heard of a show called The In-Betweeners?
Yeah, it sounds familiar, but I've never watched it.
So it's an English like coming of age like comedy. It's about these like 4 kids that are at college, which is high school, like late high school, like senior year. And it's just about them like trying to lose their virginity. And it's like that the in-betweeners to English people is like royalty. And they went from being the biggest thing on TV to the main character starting a YouTube channel and like trying his best to try and get into YouTube. And it seems, and the guy that I interviewed, Robbie Knox, he used to be relatively big on TV. And now he's a YouTuber. So we actually have a lot of people that were big on TV then going into YouTube.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I haven't heard many stories like that. It's usually the opposite, people trying to do the opposite.
Yeah, maybe it's maybe English TV is dying a little bit more because if they're taking YouTubers, then they're trying to be relevant. Whereas I guess America you still have like, well, it's finished now, but you have like Game of Thrones, and you've got actual TV shows. You ever heard of our shows called like EastEnders and Emmerdale and Coronation Street?
Yeah, I don't really watch TV in general that much. I watch a lot of YouTube. That's the main thing. The most recent British show I've seen, I think, is Utopia, which was really good. But
I haven't even seen that.
Oh, but yeah, I don't really watch that much TV in general. I just watch a lot of YouTube, which could be a good or a bad thing, the type of content I consume. But
sometimes you watch YouTube content and you're like, wow, this is really smart content. And
no, definitely.
You watch like Shaggy and Shrek fighting over the N-word pass.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, you told me, I can't remember if I've asked you this question. If I've asked you it already, then
yeah, no worries.
Did I ask you what I thought the future of your content will be like?
Oh no. Okay. So the future of my content, I'm just trying to branch out more, I guess, like with the podcast and gaming channel, because I don't really want to be known just as an animator. I really don't even enjoy animating that much. Like, I can't see myself animating 5 years from now. I just want to be associated with, like, I guess, comedy in general as opposed to animation.
You can't see yourself animating 5 years from now. Why not?
Because I feel like I would rather break out and do on-camera stuff instead. Because, like, once I got more comfortable on camera, that's what I probably would prefer to do. Do like skits and stuff like that. Do
you think that's what the podcast would be useful for, in getting you on camera more?
Probably. I mean, with the podcast, I don't plan on using a camera either. I just wanted the podcast to be as simple as possible, mainly just audio. And I'm also starting to upload clips, with just like small segments that I think are funny from the podcast, and maybe that could help give it more reach. But I feel like in the future, either I'll possibly hire an animator or just not animate at all. Because even though I love animated content, and I still kind of want to make animated content, I just personally would rather spend that time animating on doing other stuff, because it takes such like a big amount of time. Because I think about it like stand-up, right? When someone's doing stand-up, they spend most of the time writing, but I have to do the same thing, but then animate on top of that too. So that takes up a big chunk of time that I could spend making better jokes and stuff like that. That's the main reason why.
That's really interesting. That's imagine a lot of animators sort of feel the same way. I mean, unless your animations are like fully blown animations, I guess it's difficult, especially like animations are sort of like Storytime.
Yeah.
Things. I think that's why I like animated channels, because they're Storytime videos, but they're not like, oh my god, my Uber driver kidnapped me, and it turns out that they didn't actually get kidnapped.
Yeah, exactly.
They're well thought through comedy videos.
Yeah, it's not like Tana Mojo story times. It's a little different.
Yeah. I personally would like to see you get into more real life stuff, but I imagine that it is, especially for 3 years now, you've sort of been hidden away behind the camera. Well, I suppose there's no camera behind the microphone.
Yeah.
But I imagine it must be relatively difficult to then get back into that. Do you think you'll start appearing on other people's podcasts more? Well, I guess there's this one, but
yeah, I'm not sure. Hopefully, maybe. There's a lot of stuff that I would love to be part of, but I'm not sure how fast or how near that would happen. But I just think about like how, even though I'm 23, like I feel like 23 on YouTube time is old, but I feel like in general it's still like relatively young when it comes to entertainment industry.
Yeah, I mean, 23 if you're on TikTok is literally like you are on life support. YouTube, I guess, YouTube. The YouTubers we watched when we were kids are now, I mean, how old is Markiplier these days? He must be in his 30s, right?
Yeah, probably.
So I don't think you're too old for it. But yeah, like you say, I mean, the comedy circuit, the stand-up comedy circuit, comedians don't get funny or don't start getting big until they hit like 30. I mean, when did when did Louis C.K. and Bill Burr get their breaks as a comedy? Mark Maron, he was on TV all the time back in the 90s, but he was terrible and no one liked him.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he was on Glow and now he's a funny comedian.
Yeah, no, I agree with that a lot. I remember seeing a lot of Louis' older stuff, and like when he was younger and had hair, and he just like he was funny, but he was nothing close to what he is like now. I feel like I definitely need, I guess, the life experience to become more funny. I'm not sure like how many younger comedians are actually funny. I do agree that like the 30-year-old is like the prime age.
Yeah, I like my older angry comedian. I think a lot of comedians, the comedy comes from bitterness. Like I think that's that's why people say women aren't funny. I mean they are, but a lot of I think a lot of comedians that are known as the best, Dave Chappelle, Louis C.K., Bill Burr, they're Ricky Gervais. They're angry. They've got a lot of sadness, and sadness is where comedy comes from. And I think in general, women are happier in their comedy, and people don't want to laugh about cake. They want to laugh about sadness.
Yeah, no, I think you're definitely right about that. It's people want to see the sad entertainer, someone who just can take whatever tragedies they have and make some light out of it. I agree with that.
I mean, Joan Rivers, she was my favorite female comedian, and I've yet to find a female comedian I find as funny. And I think when I think about her comedy, it's because she gives no fucks, and she was just a rock star. She was that's what people want. They want like angry rock stars. But I think you making YouTube content, building up a fan base means that, say, the comedy club's open tomorrow. The comedy club's open in a year. You say, I'm going to do a stand-up comedy tour. That's your in. You've already got 250,000 people subscribe to you. How many of those people are going to buy tickets if you got a big following in New York and you go play a small venue that only seats 80 people? You can fill that 80 people. Yeah. And those people see that you filled it up because you got a YouTube following, and the next thing you know, you've got a head start over Billy Blogs who nobody knows and could be amazing, but isn't pulling anyone in.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I've seen people like, are you familiar with Andrew Schultz?
Yeah, I've heard his name.
But basically he no big comedy clubs really wanted him. Like the big events that were being held, like nobody wanted him. So even though he's like hilarious, he's a very funny guy, but he decided to take his stand-up bits, I guess like the funniest ones and like crowd work that he would do, and every week he would upload like a 5-minute video. And
he's the guy that's just got a Netflix series.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I watched that today.
Yeah, he's hilarious. But he for the longest time, nobody was like really fucking with him in the professional world of comedy, and he decided to take it into his own hands and upload them to YouTube. And every week he would upload one of these clips, and slowly over time he would gain his own following just from YouTube and social media. And through that, he was able to build up his comedy empire through his podcast and his own comedy shows. And he went from like barely able to sell a couple seats at a venue to selling out every single venue he performed at.
Well, it's crazy. I mean, there was obviously I'm not American, so I haven't seen it, but there was a guy, I think he won America's Got Talent, and he was a stand-up comedian with a stutter.
I know. I forgot his name, but I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, and he's now a YouTuber, and he puts his comedy content on YouTube, and that does really well. And then there's a ginger guy, a ginger American that I watch that's known for like heckler content. He's done really well off YouTube. There's a guy called Ryan Long. Does like political sketches. His stand-up's done really well. Just loads of comedy YouTubers, stand-up YouTubers seem to be doing better on YouTube, because if you don't have to pay for a comedy special, then you might as well watch it, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's basically, I feel like, how it's going. I mean, the thing is with the specials though, because Andrew Schultz, when he first started out, before he did the clips, he was posting his full like 1 hour specials, and he wasn't finding any luck with that because people see an hour and they're like, I can't sit for an hour. But then they'll sit through 2 hours of 4-minute clips. That's what he was finding. So that's why he was going with the clips. But
that's why with the podcast, you've got to get those highlight reels.
Yeah, no, definitely. Because even me, like, even if I see a video that's 20 minutes, like sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't have 20 minutes, but then I'll watch 100 1-second clips. So
yeah, I don't
think the math adds up there, but I think you know what I mean.
I don't like H3H3's podcast, but sometimes, so I won't watch the long ones, but they come up in my feed and the highlight clips, and sometimes I just got to watch them,
Yeah, sometimes they have a good title, and you're like, I wonder what he says about this topic.
I was wondering, so New York, are you sort of like central New York, or are you outside like New Jersey?
No, it's New York City, the 5 boroughs.
Cool. Right. So New York was hit pretty hard this year, right? You were all pretty fucked up, no?
Oh, with the pandemic, yeah, it's been pretty tough. There's a lot of people who have been leaving that I know. They've been going to like other states that are much more, that are a lot cheaper, first off, because New York's like one of the most expensive states to live in aside from California. But it's been getting really bad, especially like in Manhattan. There's a lot of people leaving and trying to go to other places because of how crowded it is. There's like, people are basically living on top of each other. And I mean, I'm sure it's the same in like London or like some other major city.
Yeah. We've we have a tier system. So we've just gone from tier 3 to tier 4, which is like lockdown again.
Okay. Yeah. That's basically what's going on here. It's very locked on very soon.
You managed to do all right? Did you get it?
Oh, no, I didn't get it, but I've been trying to stay safe, even though I've been working. But I know a lot of people who have gotten it, and now with the vaccine rolling out, one of my friends is getting it because he works in a hospital. Yeah. I guess we'll see what happens with that.
I got coronavirus, and all my friends got coronavirus.
Really?
Yeah, we were all right,
Yeah.
It was a bit gross, but we're not the demographic that it kills in hordes.
Yeah.
But what I was going to say about that is, one, I mean, has life been different for you? I mean, has these protests that have been going on has that affected you at all? If they haven't gone after any of your parents' business or anything?
No. They only go to like the main major area, like the places that got robbed and looted. I think were like main areas where like where they have like the highest foot traffic. So I was fortunately not involved in getting attacked by any of that stuff. But I don't know. I don't really know anybody who was affected by that. But I saw a lot of videos. Just like even if I go on Snapchat maps or whatever, and you click on like the city, the main parts of the city, it'll show you like a lot of places getting fucked up. Yeah,
places burning down. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I do not envy Americans at the moment. You guys, I mean, we've had it rough here. I mean, everything's shutting down, but you guys are literally like on fire. The visuals of America have been crazy this year. Like, it's apocalyptic.
It's pretty wild.
So I was going to ask how do you think it's affected your content? Do you think have you had any more time to create content? Has it given you, I mean, you made the Karen video about people being shitty about masks and stuff like that. Do you think it's had any effect on your content?
I guess it's given me a couple more ideas. I think the main thing is it's taken like, I've had less time to produce content because I've had to work more. Because of what's going on. So it's been, I mean, I only have to work like 1 day more, but like it only gives me like a couple of days to work on videos as opposed to like a day or two more, which always helps. So that's the main thing that has been affecting me. It's harder to get content out, but I guess it helps me come up with more ideas. So it's a balance there.
So do you just work every day? So you do your normal job, and then when you're not there, it's the YouTube stuff?
Yeah, basically.
Damn, busy man.
Yeah. Try my best.
You got to get on that grind, man. That's exactly.
I know.
You've got to make that paper.
I'm trying.
You seem to be doing well with everything. I mean, have you seen your views go up quite a lot recently, or has it been a steady incline?
No, it's been a steady decline, actually. There's a couple videos that are like outliers that will blow up. Like the first Karen video I did got like more views than usual, and also my Among Us video, but I kind of expected that. But for like my main videos, they've been kind of getting less views than usual.
Really?
But I think just as long as I keep going, you'll be fine.
Damn. That's what about subscribers? I mean, they can only go up, right?
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, I've seen a lot of channels where they've lost massive amounts of subscribers. I don't want to have a Minnesota burn situation where I have 2 million subscribers and 5K views each video.
Do you remember when the Fine brothers tried to do that thing where they tried to coin React, and they lost like 4 million subscribers in a day or something?
Yeah, that was one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. I was part of that like hate mob that was like, why would you do that? But they seem to be doing fine now. I think you can get past any. I feel like any sort of like hate that you get like that, as long as you keep going, like you can get past it and people will forget or they just won't care anymore.
I think on YouTube the best way to get over, like when you look at Toby Turner, those allegations came out against him, and he said they're not true, and then he didn't make any other content. Whereas this stuff with Pyrocynical, he's come out and said it's not true, and he'll just carry on making content and it'll be fine. So I think that's kind of just what you got to do if somebody's trying to cancel you, or you fucked up. Like JonTron took how many years did JonTron take off after those racism comments?
Yeah, he took off a while, and he took off a while. But I feel like even with everything that happened to him, or like anybody in general, like even PewDiePie saying the N-word, people just don't care after a while. They just like, I like this guy's content. He made a mistake. Let me just get over it and just keep watching.
Yeah. Well, I hope that everything goes well for you.